Different companies differentiate their customers using different methodologies. And in this chapter, we would want to discuss a little bit that differentiating customers by their needs. So not by their color, not by their gender, not by their location, not by other variables, specifically looking at the need of the customer and then differentiating customers based on their needs. What do they require from the product? What do they really want from the product? From that angle, strive not to be a success. Very interesting quote or words by Honorable Albert Einstein. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Because if you are giving some type of value to any business, any customer, then because of that value which you are giving, the customer would like to retain you if you are a business, and a business would like to retain, same way would like to retain that customer which is giving them value. And generally uh, customers give value to the business not just by the sales, by the money, by the financial gain, but also good word of mouth is a gain, is a value for the business. Repeat business is a value for the business, and so on. So essentially, needs, meeting someone needs, if you can meet the needs of anyone, you are giving them the value which maybe others are not going to give them if they not specifically fulfill the needs. And in marketing classes you must have thought about this or reflected on this, that customers don't necessarily buy products or services, they buy things which fulfill their needs. So people don't go to buy soap or toothpaste or toothbrush or something like that. They are in the market to buy some product which would fulfill their need to clean their hands or clean their body or clean their mouth or whatever, depending on the example. So it is the need which, and when you focus on, want to give a little different perspective than how it is laid out in the chapter. When you are fulfilling the need, it also gives you like a space where you can innovate. Like for example, if you want to brush teeth, hygiene of the mouth, toothpaste and toothpaste and toothbrush are the basics, but the need is to clean your mouth. So what else you can come up with which can help you clean your mouth? So then you will see that people have like created floss, for example, like between the particles which are still between your teeth. So you're not just brushing, you are like, innovation comes in and floss comes in, and then innovation comes in, and then mouthwash comes in. After you clean your teeth, you also mouthwash. And then a tongue cleaner, a brush which cleans your tongue, that comes in, and you are using that, and so on and so forth. So what is that? That is the, it is, you are not creating like just the products for the mouth. You are looking at the need of the customer, like what is the needs, different needs. And then they came up with floss and these type of things, and other, so many other things are there for oral hygiene and mouth hygiene and so on. So just a side note on that. So always look at the need of the customer, why the customer is looking at it. So from the example I gave you in chapter number 4 about a person going to a grocery place and buying fruits. Now the person is buying fruit, but what is the underlying need? What is the need? The need is maybe to consume healthy or something like that. So you don't sell fruits to the person. You now understand why this customer is buying these berries. Why? What benefit he's getting from these berries or whatever he's buying. So what is the need he's trying to fulfill? So you now try to match or meet that need. Start offering other products which maybe the customer has not seen, but show him those products. And you can use this and this and this. Yeah. Or maybe take the number of the customer that, okay, whenever we get fresh berries or new type of there are different type of berries, we will give you a call, something like that. So what are you doing? You are differentiating that customer by their needs. And if you don't understand the example, please look at the recording of chapter number 4, where an example of grocery store experience and buying fruit was discussed in detail. Uh, so please watch that, and then you will understand what I meant by this example I gave you. Yeah, the chapter is pretty straightforward, but I'm going to still go through a couple of things, not much. You are required to read the chapter line by line. Customers simply want to have their problem solved, and every customer has his own slightly different twist on how the process should be handled. It's very interesting, very interesting. Just like I gave you the example of toy, where in chapter number 5 or 4, where two children are buying same toy, but they are using it differently, getting joy from the toy differently. Same way, it can be the case where customers simply want to have their problem solved, and every customer has its own slightly different twist on how the process should be handled. It can be the same thing, but how the process is handled for you, it might be different. For me, I might require, based on my need, a little bit different, like customization in how the process is for me. Even if more than one customer wants a problem solved a particular way. So it can be the case where many customers want the same problem solved in a particular way, but then you need to appreciate that customers are different, and it can be the case where there are some customers who want the handling of the process or the way of doing that service, they want it to be done a little bit differently. So that difference you want to maybe look into. Yeah, what is that difference? The key to building a customer's value is understanding how this customer wants it solved. Like every customer, they are trying to say they might want the same thing, but they might want it a little bit differently. So what is that difference? Find out that difference and do it for them. Yeah, this is what it is essentially saying. And they are talking about, again, unrealized potential value and so on. We have looked at it in the previous discussions. Please look at that. Very interesting definitions you are going to see in this chapter outside of glossary, within the body of the chapter, and detailed. They are very important terminologies which we have been using, but I think that you should read in your own time how they have explained these words. For example, needs. What is the definition of needs? In this section, you will see that how the book explains that. For example, how customers want to buy may be as important as why they want to buy it. How they want to buy, what is the methodology of buying, online, in store, through a call, cash payment, all of those things, how, and why they want to buy it. Why can be different. You might be buying the same thing, but it's for different reason. Yeah, it's very possible. Think about that. Customers, for example, they explain customers here. What do they really mean by customers? Of course we understand what is the meaning, but I think it is a good practice to read how they have explained, and they have explained it in detail what we mean for customers. Of course you know it, but still uh, it's good to understand. For example, we have already established in earlier conversations that demographics do not reveal the needs. Demographic may tell you that this is the socioeconomic status, or this is the age group, or this is the gender, and this is the religion, and based on religion what foods this religion consume, and what they don't, and they keep Sabbath or they don't, how they deal with Saturdays and so on, all demographics. But they don't necessarily always are going to explain you the needs of the customer. For needs, you would want to again calculate, collect all the data from all the data points wherever customer is interacting with you. You are putting that in the CRM, and then making assessment of that, and speaking with the customer, also clarifying your ideas, how you are looking at, making a profile of the customer, a detailed profile. And then you will realize that all of these things are time consuming, and money is involved. And uh, so again, the question which I asked you in last chapter: would you like to fire your customers who are busy, who are non paying, like non profitable customers, zero value? As a matter of fact, they are costing you. So would you want to create a profile for them? No, of course. So that is why it is very important to understand identifying customer, chapter number 4, and differentiating the customers, and then understanding their needs individually speaking. And then you want to understand the needs of the customer, which are like, which from whom you are making more money. Of course you don't want to miscalculate uh, what they need. And one example in the last chapters 4 and 5, you saw an example of bank, where the bank was doing very well, and the people, the consumers of that bank, were voluntarily doing the word of mouth good service for the bank. They were promoting the bank. But then what the bank did, they did not really understand the need of those customers, and they started sending them the mails about mortgages and those type of things, where those customers don't take loans, and they have been customer for 10 years, 15 years. What happened? You saw that example in the last chapters 4 or 5. Please revisit the example if you have not listened to that recording yet. Yeah, what happened after that? They stopped doing the good publicity for the company. Why they stopped? Because they realized that this bank is just like any other bank. This is what other banks do: send emails without understanding what to send and what not to send. So because the customer had a good connection, emotional type of better, good relationship, if not emotional, a good decent relationship, loyal relationship in good way. So they did not like it. They stopped promoting the bank. And then bank saw that, and what the bank had to do, they had to start paying 25 pounds to the customers who would bring in more customers. Yeah. So what is that? All of that, why that confusion happened? Why that confusion happened? All of this happened because of not understanding the needs, just relying on maybe demographics, that we can send this mail to this area, we can send this mail to Kingston 5, send this mail to Kingston 11. These type of people live in Kingston 7, and so on. Yeah, we discriminate by the location also, where, in which what is the postal code of the of the person. Sometimes people judge on that also. Yeah, but they don't, it's not, you can get an overall picture, right? There is an advantage in looking at demographics, because they are quick. You can quickly make the decision. It is time consuming to understand the needs of the real needs of the customer consumer. It is more time consuming. So it is kind of a shorter way, and it, in many situations, it works also. But it is in your advantage to understand when it works and how to use the thing. So needs, um, very important. uh, so read this story. They give a nice example here from US. Spend some time on that, and then they are making explanation, giving different examples to make the case that why it is important to understand, for example, customer behavior, why it is important to understand the needs, the why of a customer's action, and the behaviors are the what the customer do, how they behave. So from there you want try to understand, like find the identity of the customer, identify the customer, and then you see what it is. So lot of examples are there. Will this customer visit again? It is a good question to ask when you are characterizing customers by their needs and behaviors. You can ask some questions. What are those questions? Will this customer visit again? Will he or she buy again? What is the risk she will default on her credit or cost the bank money? These are the questions an executive tries to answer by looking at behavioral record. And why they want to know all this? Because they don't want to invest in BZs from customers which are going to give them zero value. Now reflect on the how you responded to that question. Many of you said that we are going to keep those customers, and I understand the sentiments, like you don't want them to go and badmouth your business or service. But look at this, companies don't necessarily, they look at your behavior by looking at these questions. Yeah. If they think that you are going to be doing, you will be doing repeat business with them, they sometimes treat you differently. Yeah. And also what you are, especially what are you going to buy? This is very interesting book. If you get time, uh, read this book, Predictability Irrational, or just read the book summary, just run a Google search on the book. Someone must have written some type of summary or something like that, and scan through it. Yeah, very interesting book. Because irrational and irrational behaviors, that is what you are trying to judge. Customer, you you judge people from how they behave. You don't know what is going on in someone's mind, how a customer is going to behave towards you, or vice versa. Only then the other party try to make a judgment on that, like, maybe this will happen, or maybe that will happen. And even that judgment is not 100% correct. As you looked in chapter number 4 and 5. And that is why they were saying that it is hard to calculate lifetime value of a customer, even with the mathematical tools or statistical models. It is hard. But again and again they are emphasizing on this, understanding the needs. And look at all of these bullet pointers. I will try to discuss a couple of them. Two different consumers often buy the same product to satisfy different needs, but a customer's needs might change from event to event, and it's important to recognize when this occurs. This is very interesting. Event to event, it can change. And I have already given you example of this, that two different consumers often buy the same product to satisfy different needs. Yes. Customer needs are dynamic and can change over time as well. So what I need today might change tomorrow. First I was going for the in the market to buy, never bought fruit. Why would I eat fruit? I'm going in the market to have some drink and some snacks and some candies and all of those things. But then you're going for the fruit. What is that? This is what happened to this customer. Is a loyal Pepsi customer. What is going on? Yeah. So it's dynamic, they change over time as well. Same thing for you, I'm sure. what you liked maybe 5 years ago, now you don't like it for some reason, or vice versa. Yeah. So this makes it even more complicated if you think, as I'm trying to reflect on this, because first of all, think about it, it is hard to understand the customer need. And after all the work, when you finally understand the customer and their need, they might change, or something like that. And they have explained it very nicely also here. Spend some time in looking at it and look at all the bullet points. These are nice bullet points. Understanding the psychological differences among people can provide useful guidance for treating different customers differently. So essentially it's human behavior, as we were discussing in, I think, chapter number 1. When we just started talking about these chapters, I think I mentioned that as the best thing to spend time in understanding human behavior, because the more you understand human behavior, the easier these things become for you. And how do you understand human behavior? By interacting more with human beings, by being in different situations with different type of people, by observation. How is the body language of different people in different situations? So spend time in that. Just many times we are not observing because we are busy in our lives too much. We are like one place to next, and you have to wake up, you have to do some things, then you go to work, you have to like all the while you're home, this, that, whatever you are doing, you're not observing what is happening, how people are doing different things. That is important, I think. That helps. Observation also helps in understanding human behavior and so on. And of course, reading and experimenting and looking at people's reactions, what words they use in different when they are angry, what, all those type of things. So psychological differences, human behavior. The more you understand that, the better you will be able to differentiate customers by their needs. When they will need something from a product, you will understand that which is not normal need. They want to, there's some other, like one person, you and me go to the movie shop, and or we are watching some Netflix show, or we order movie online. Yeah, well, let's say you and me are watching movie. We are not watching it for the same reason. Different people watch movies for different reasons, very different reasons. Maybe I'm watching it because I don't care about anything, because it is just my favorite actress is in the movie, so I'm just watching it for her. I don't care if the storyline is weak or strong, or if it's funny or whatever. If my favorite actress is there, I'm just watching it. That is my need, is that I'm just happy looking at her. That is what maybe my need is for that time. For you, you might want to watch that same movie because it is directed by your favorite director, and that is your favorite director. You just want enjoy the way he moves his camera, or he direct the story. You just like that, it is your favorite director. So you don't care about the actress or anything, you are watching it for that reason. So both are watching our same movie, but different reason, totally different. Yeah. And it will be hard for us to understand, because I am looking at the movie for my favorite actress, and I tell you, oh, I like this actress very much, and you might say, why you like it? She is very, like, what is so special about her? She's very normal looking girl. Why you like her? I don't really understand it. It's a possibility. That is why we don't like the same people in the same time. Yeah. Same thing for me. You are watching it for the director, and I'm saying, what is this? This don't make sense for me. Yeah. So same thing is the psychological differences. What is the need in that time? And need changes in different time frames. As you are looking here, customer needs are dynamic and can change over time as well. Yeah, and here they were saying event to event it can change. Yeah, where you are in your life and so on. Very interesting concepts. But please go through all these bullet points. All of them are important. I just selected a couple of them which I wanted to talk about a little. Look at these things. Community knowledge, easy to understand. Look at the definitions. um, you are gaining from the learnings or the data which is available for the community, and from there you make a decision for that community knowledge and so on. But uh, focus on identifying the needs of specific customers. We are talking about CRM, customer relationship management. We have spoken about these things, using needs differentiation to build customer value. Yeah, you are filling the need of a specific customer, and as you are filling that need, you are giving better value to that customer, and then because of that customer is getting specific value of the service, you build connection, and over a period of time, if you can repeat that performance, that customer might get emotionally connected with your product or service and continue using it. I've given many examples. Easy to read chapter. This example, which I enjoyed reading this example, this scenario. Universities differentiate students' needs. I really enjoyed it because of my interest in education. I don't know if you would be interested in this type of example or not, but still read it, scan through it at least. Um, um, as I am reflecting on this one, let me just, they did not say this in this section, but let me give an example just to um, solidify the earlier things I have said today in chapter number 4, 5, and this is chapter number 6. Yeah. So let's imagine that like we are at University of the West Indies, and you must have had different type of experiences with University of the West Indies, and different type of problems or whatever, and you are going to some place for uh, giving you access, so you can register late for the course, or you are going to some other department that you can pay late, or you can pay in installment, or you have not paid yet but you will pay, but you don't have money right now, you will pay later, but you need your transcript, and different type of issues, right? There are many issues are there, right? So how it would be that there is a student database, and in that student database, whenever you come, like whenever I go in that, I'm student at UV also, I'm doing some studies. So I go to uh, I go to wherever I go with the complaint, and I say, okay, I'm having this problem, I will pay late, give me whatever, give me the access to still sit in the course and so on. So they do that, but they don't put it in some system. Even if they put it in some system, they only put it in their system, in their department, and that information is not linked across different departments. So let's assume that they make a customer database, and in that they lodge my complaint or my query that, okay, I will do this. Okay, then I go to some other department, and they also lodge my thing that, okay, Tashvin came and this is what he asked for. So anytime I am contacting with UV from whatever means, face to face, online, email, whatever, the system is linked, and they log in my query, they log in the system. So over a period of time, when everything is logged, when I go again in the next semester, I go anywhere on the campus for whatever problem. Let's say in the next semester also I go, I say I will pay late and this. So then they are able to look at that what happened last time. In the last semester also, he said that he will pay late, and then he paid eventually. So they will say, okay, all right, we know that you like to pay late, so we will make this adjustment for you. So what I am saying, that instead of customer explaining, the student explaining every time in the university context, there is a database which collects all the data from different touch points which the university experienced from the students. All the information is going, and then it is accessible across departments, across different departments. Yeah, how it is going to transform the way UV will be able to service the customer, because they will know the details, the background. Yeah, same example I gave you for the grocery stores. For example, if the grocery stores know the pattern of buying from the of the customer, they can be able to serve them better. Same way, this information not to be used against the student, but to use it to help the student. So even before the student goes to the department and asks that I will pay late or whatever, automatically someone looks at that his history and say, okay, in the last 2 semesters this is what has happened, let me give him this access from now for the next semester, instead of the student coming to the department and asking again that, okay, I will pay late or whatever. They give him that thing, that okay, yes, he pays, but he pays late, maybe the money comes in late or whatever is the reason, different reason for different people. Yeah, so taking the responsibility of making the customer satisfied in your own hands, this is what I am trying to say. So you can only do that if you are collecting that type of information and it is interconnected across departments. Of course, this is a rough draft idea. There are some loopholes in the example I gave you, because that information can be used against the student also, or those things you might want to tweak in the example. But overall, if this type of some type of student database is created, which which can facilitate helping the students even before they ask, it is a very interesting idea. Uh, but this is not what this section explains. They are talking about different things, but after reading this, I just made a note that, okay, if UV can do this, I think it is an interesting idea, but it is not easy to do. It would require a lot of dedication, and that that it would more than dedication, it would require that will for the people sitting in different department to really serve the students in a better way. So that will is maybe is why they would want to do it. Come on. Yeah, yeah, it sounds good, all the things I said, but why they would want to do it? What benefit customer rep is going to get if a student is served in this way a little better? Why? What are they getting from that? They are, if they are not getting anything, any benefit, tangible or intangible from that, they are not going to do it. Generally speaking, there is no motivation to do it. um, so that is interesting thing to reflect on. um, let me think of Let me share one more example uh, on the same note. For example, there is a drugstore and you go there to buy medicines, and those are the regular medicines which you go there to buy. For example, you maybe go there to get oil capsules, vitamins, supplements, vitamin C tablets, different type of thing, these type of things which so you go there, and suddenly you start buying some other prescription drugs which the pharmacy knows that maybe someone you know or yourself are going through some illness. Yeah. So now, based on what you have been consuming with them over a period of time, you have that track record. The pharmacy has that track record in the database, and now you start buying those prescribed drugs for something. So then that pharmacy can automatically speak with the doctor who gave you the prescription and tell them, okay, this guy has been taking this medicine, and maybe it will have some negative impact based on, this drug don't match with that, so maybe you should recommend him some other medicine. Although generally speaking, whenever doctors are prescribing drugs or anything, any medicine, they do ask the patient that, what have you been taking and all those things. Sometimes, people are unable to, they don't report it. Sometimes that happens because they think, oh, I'm just taking, vitamins or this thing, supplements, or it won't have any thing. So if, unless the doctor asks them specifically that are you taking some supplements or something like that, they would not mention it because it is, they think that it is healthy to take these things. And some people, it has health benefit also. So taking vitamins and supplements, if the diet is not balanced and so on, they are taking. So now this simple example, but the pharmacy here is taking the lead in doing something to give better service to the customer. Maybe the customer will not even know, or they can take permission. If it is some ethical issue, the pharmacy can take permission that, can we disclose the medicine you have been taking to the doctor so he can give you a better recommendation. So the idea is not to, share the patient's information with the doctor just like that. The idea is that how this new medicine which you are going to take, how the pharmacy can help you in getting the best drug in your circumstances. Yeah. Something like this was also mentioned in the book somewhere. So you will read this type of example somewhere. So pay attention to that. I wrote it down because I found it interesting. Anyways, this one is a university example, MOOCs, online learning, lifetime value, and so on. Read it in detail if you would. Enterprise will need to interact with each customer to understand each one better. We have said it multiple times since the start of the semester, multiple times. But then again, it is just time consuming and it is expensive. That is why many times companies are just looking at the demographic and making an overall picture of the type of customers who fall under that demography, and then send them emails or send them the post or send them, like, unless they are high value, very visibly, unless they are high value clients and it is very visible that they are high value clients, they would just do it like this. Ongoing collaborative dialogue with each customer. Ongoing collaborative. Even once you have found the needs of the customer, still it is an ongoing collaborative dialogue. So the more you understand the customer, the better you will understand what is happening. So essentially, this chapter is differentiating customer by their needs. Uh, it makes sense if you would want to do that. Look at these food for thought questions. I would like you to look at maybe this one also more carefully. Is it possible to meet individual needs? Is it feasible? Yes, it is important to differentiate customers by their needs, and we should strive to fulfill individual needs. But my question to you is it possible to meet individual needs? Is it feasible? How much money, effort would be spent on that? And then customer needs are going to change over a period of time. So in that context, do some research after you have read this topic, this chapter line by line, and then describe 3 examples where doing this has been profitable. Give 3 examples where meeting individual needs help the business grow, yeah, in different sectors. You can look at your own work experience, you can search for examples online, and when you will read the chapter, you will also uh, find many examples, interesting examples. And after, I think, once you have reflected on this question, you have to reflect, of course, on all the questions, but if you can reflect on these type of question, then it will also balance your opinion about differentiating customers by their need, because it will help you understand that what are some of the challenges which many companies might have encountered as they were fulfilling individual needs, and how far you are going to go in fulfilling individual needs. uh, these are some questions to reflect on. Please spend some time and enjoy reading the chapter. Very interesting one.